Expert Subjects Weekly podcast. This week, we'll be discussing writer's block. Writer's block was an expression coined by therapist Edmund Bengler in 1947. Most people know the expression, even if they don't write creatively or professionally. To be blocked is to not be able to compose new work. Writers can suffer from this problem for short or long durations. Not only the duration can vary, but also the reasons. For some, perhaps for you, the block can be caused by not having any idea what subject to explore. Perhaps you have exhausted all personal material and experiences in either fiction or memoir, and faced with lack of inspiration for new material, you suffer a sort of mental paralysis. Other reasons can be your physical or mental health issues, financial hardships, relationship woes, or even something as simple as not having a tranquil spot in which to focus and be uninterrupted. A writer can be psyched out from performing or creating. Perhaps you have an unfinished novel that's been accepted by a prestigious publisher, and suddenly you see no way to complete the task at hand. Or, after having had success with one published work, even critical acclaim on the bestseller of the New York Times list, you find you're petrified to fail with the next work before you. So you stall, paint the house, play with the dog, meet your friends for hours at the local coffee shop, or take to a rigorous exercise regime that leaves you no energy or space for putting words to paper. Studies have shown that there may be physiological reasons for your writer's block. The brain, when stressed, reacts to stresses in various ways. Sleeplessness, anxiety, moodiness, eating problems, and even creativity can be stymied. Alice W. Flaherty, a neurologist, wrote about the brain and writer's block, describing how there's a correlation between stress and the brain's functioning, therefore giving a very real cause to a condition that had been seemingly imagined or a convenient excuse for a non-productive writer. Many books delve into this affliction that has plagued and perplexed writers as long as people have had the notion to set their ideas down for others to read. Writers blog about writer's block. Writers talk about writer's block. Writers theorize, analyze, and fret about writer's block. Through the various eras of writing, some of the most respected and even prolific writers were paralyzed for various lengths of time with the inability to produce words on the page. Tolstoy, Woolf, Hemingway, and Ellison are just a few well-known writers who had trying periods of non-productivity. What can you do about writer's block? For one thing, you can take comfort in knowing you're in good company, and take comfort in knowing you're not alone. From this place of comfort, there's plenty more to be done to ward off or halt these unwanted times of writing inability. Writers need to take care of themselves just like everyone else. They need their sleep, good nutrition, exercise, mental stimulation, emotional stability, a space to create, support, and love. Got all these things in order? Still blocked? Next, it's time to bring in other effective weapons. Music, reading good or bad literature, watching good or bad movies or plays, meditating or yoga, walking, breaks, baths, showers, wine, nature, religion, and the list goes on. I consider these things to be the foundation of a strong writing life. Once the foundation is dependable, then you can add the other components that work for you. Writers have different needs at various points in time, so you have to pay attention to yourself and the transitions in your life that may cause you to reevaluate what your current needs are. I think Cynthia Ozick's comment, "Prescription for writer's block, begin," is perfect. Procrastination can become far worse than just stalling for the perfect time to write or having the proper inspiration or subject to write about. Procrastination can become the writer's way of life. So it's better to sit yourself down and write nonsense. Write about your crow's feet or the neighbor who lets her dog poop on your front lawn each morning, but write. There are many exercises you can use to release those elusive words. You can find these exercises in books or online. A couple I'm fond of that I learned in workshops are: take 5 to 10 postcards or photos and scatter them on the table in front of you, and let the pictures inspire your imagination. Then try to write for 10 or 15 minutes if possible, using that image as your starting point. Or jot down 3 or 4 random sentences. If nothing comes into your head, because after all you are blocked, then lift those sentences from your most loved books. Don't worry about plagiarism. It's for a good cause. Think of these starting sentences as found art. Here are 2 I adore. I had the story, bit by bit, from various people, and as generally happens in such cases, each time it was a different story. That's from Edith Wharton's Ethan Frome. David Foster Wallace, in his book The Broom of the System, has a good opener too. Most really pretty girls have pretty ugly feet. In addition, you can try talking your writing out to someone you trust, and it will be a good sounding board. Discussing your writing can help you cement your thoughts and even lead you to places you hadn't conjured up, especially if your friend is receptive or creative. A tape recorder can work just as well for those who don't feel like talking it out. Some writers speak their entire manuscript into a tape recorder. There's nothing wrong with this method if you are more comfortable as an oral storyteller. I remember a famous writer dictating her entire novel to her assistant at Simon & Schuster. Whatever works. Another strategy, you can try beginning your piece of writing not from the beginning. Beginnings can be tricky. We want them to pop, to captivate, and woo the reader, which creates all sorts of apprehension. So start from the middle, or any place other than the beginning, if that takes some of the pressure off of you. An outline can help, a scheduled time to work, a deadline, an organized workspace, and deciding who exactly is your audience. Some writers are helped by picturing their audience sitting before them as they compose, as well as why you've chosen your particular subject. Above all, don't get bogged down by trying to be perfect. If the sentence isn't coming to you, flag it and move on. You can return to the place that tripped you up later. I'm a huge proponent of writers' groups. If you have a cohesive group of caring and like-minded writers who meet regularly and critique with care, you'll find strength and support from an outside source. Writing is solitary and can be lonely. Being connected to other writers and other ideas can enrich your life and your writing. Next week's podcast is on Writers Group, how to join or start one of your own. Any questions? Please feel free to write to Jennifer Mignani, lead editor at expertsubjects.com, with comments, ideas, or concerns you may have as a writer. Thank you.